I'm Henry Monshine. I'm your business and management librarian. And today we're going to take a look at Business Insights, a database where you can do company research. And we're going to spend a few minutes to see how we can use this database to research a company. So we'll get started. When you're at the Cal Lutheran homepage, you want to go to the library. One way to do that from the homepage is go to Academics and select Pearson Library. Once you're on the library page, you want to scroll down to the research guides and look for the link for business. This will take you to the business guide. Once you're here, let's go to the Databases tab and scroll down the list of databases, and the second one is Business Insights Global. This is the launch page for the database. The way it works, we'll type in the name of a company. Let's say we're going to research Verizon. Hit search. And what you'll see is a listing of companies. And you've got Verizon Communications, Verizon Wireless. The first one is actually the profile we want, Verizon Communications. So I'm going to click on the link. The first thing you'll see is a business description of the company, and then you'll see some other choices, some other links, and we'll take a look at some of these. This database will be useful to you as you're doing a paper on a company or analyzing an industry. What you'll need are different pieces of information that will paint a picture of what Verizon is like as a company. And we can start with the company chronology. And I'll go ahead and click on that. So this is going to give you a running timeline of the company right from when it began. So we can see it started in 1981, and it will show you some of the milestones over the years and over the decades. So this is very useful again when you're writing a description of a company. You'd like to highlight some key points in the company's history. So this timeline will help you quite a bit. And again, depending on how old the company is, the timeline will obviously be longer. And you can see as I'm scrolling down, again, it's going to highlight some key milestones of the company, ending with April 2015. Okay, there is another feature that is useful. I'm going to just go back to the original page. Besides the company chronology, you might look at the company history. And we'll open that in a second. The company history is more of a narrative about the company. So rather than listing dates, this is going to list some key points about the company. You can see when they got started. It talks about that, and some of the years after they were founded. Again, highlighting key points, but instead of being just a timeline, it gives you a little more detail. So once again, this feature will be very useful as you write a background description on your company. Let's take a look at some other features. You might also look at the market share reports. And you can see there are various kinds of market share reports, and all of these are going to list Verizon in some context. For example, we can look at the largest broadband providers of 2014. And again, we can see where Verizon is number 4 on this list, and it tells you that they have 10.54% of the market share in broadband. So again, very useful information, gives you a picture of where the company stands in relation to peers. And let's take a look at some other kinds of reports. You might also look at rankings. And again, these come from different sources, and it will show how Verizon ranks in terms of other companies in various areas. And here's one on the largest U.S. telecommunications services companies. And once again, in this category, Verizon ranks as number 2. So unlike the market share report, it doesn't give you a percentage of the market, but it will give you just a ranking of where they stand. Let's continue our tour of Business Insight and look at some other kinds of information that you'll find. Probably the most valuable piece of information would be the SWOT report. You'll find this with most of the large companies that you're researching. And as you know, the SWOT report will give you strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. These are written by business analysts, and you can't find this for free on the internet. And that's again one benefit of using the Pearson Library resources and databases. This is all subscription based. It's all reliable information. As you can see, this is produced by a company called Global Data. So their analysts have looked at Verizon, and they are giving you, their perspective on how Verizon is doing and highlighting some of the key areas in the SWOT report. So you can see in the chart here, it'll give you some of the key strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And then later on, as you scroll through the report, it'll give you greater detail on each of these categories. So again, very useful information when you're analyzing a company. You need this kind of analysis from other sources. Okay, well, let's take a look at other kinds of information you can find in Business Insight. You'll also find a listing of brands. Again, Verizon doesn't have lots of brands, but you'll see a listing of some of their products. If you're looking at a totally different business like cereal manufacturer, they may have tons of different products, but these are some of the key brands that you'll find from Verizon. And you may also find the financials useful. You can pull up, as you can see, their income statement, balance sheet, cash flow, business ratios. All that information is available to you. And you can select whether you want an annual report, interim reports, and then you can export those to Excel. So that's a quick overview of Business Insights Global. I think this will be a really good database for you to get started with your company research. And if you need further assistance, look me up on the Business LibGuide that we started with.